Hello and welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be discussing what the perfect plot is for the Batman 2. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. This is just a quick brainstorm and a quick shower thought really, but I thought, you know what, it'd actually be really cool if this was the plot. So let me know your thoughts and yeah, let's just get into it. So just before this starts, I just want to say I think the plot of this movie should be about addiction. I think it'd be such a good way to show how people deal with addiction and how it's different for everybody. I think the villain should go through it. I think Batman should go through it. And honestly, I think it really would be good for the villains and the Batman and just everyone involved. I think a lot of people deal with addiction and it's not really showcased a lot in movies, but I think this movie could really show the importance of dealing with addiction. So I think this film should start on a scene where we're introduced to this character called Basil, and he is so handsome, so funny, so just amazing. Everyone loves him. He's a B-list actor and he's just living his dream. He is the happiest person about. And we'll see a scene where he's actually acting on set, and at the end of the scene the director goes, cut, that's a wrap, and he's off, he's coming off. Everyone's saying, oh, you're doing so well, it's an honour to work with you. And you'll just see Basil over the moon. He's so happy, can't wait for this film to come out. And as he's leaving, he gets a taxi, he's on his way home, he's talking to the taxi driver about how happy he is, he's just loving his life. And we'll see a scene where he looks out the car window and he's like, I'm living the life. And then all of a sudden, BAM! Car just comes in, knocks the taxi over, he just goes flying, big accident. Ambulances come, save everyone. And then we'll cut to the future when we see Basil in hospital. He wakes up from his coma and he's like, what's happened? And the people around him are like, you've been in a really bad accident. It's left you disfigured. There's nothing we can do to help it. So Clayface is like, oh fuck, I just said his name. So Basil, I mean, you should probably know it's him anyway. But yeah, Basil will go to the mirror, look at his face, and he's like, what's happened to me? He's like, this is, like, what's happened? Like, he just cannot believe it. He is absolutely destroyed. Like, he just cannot believe it. And we'll start seeing this different side of Basil come out, where he's applying for more acting jobs, and they all say no, because he's disfigured. And you know, he was usually handsome, he could play all the scenes, but they don't really want to hire anyone who's disfigured. So we'll see Basil slowly start losing it, and he's looking into this research about chemicals that can change the way you look. So he's like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. So he starts using all these chemicals. He doesn't know what to do, he's just literally trying it. He's thinking it can't get any worse. But what it's doing, it's actually working, and he's actually changing his face. He's becoming handsome again. He's actually, you know, able to mold his face into something, you know, that he likes. He starts getting better. He starts getting back to these jobs. He's starting to slowly live his life again. He's happy until he gets absolutely addicted to it, and the fact that he can just change his face to how he wants to look. So what he's doing is he's going into these different roles, pretending to be different people, different actors, and he's getting too addicted to it, to the point he's doing it all day, every day. And then eventually he runs out of these chemicals, so he's like, I need more. So what he does is he sneaks into this facility and he's looking at finding more chemicals, but while he's there are these goons also there trying to steal chemicals, and these are working for this mystery guy. No one knows who they're working for. So they're just saying, look, we need to get all these quick, get out before the Batman gets here. And they're like, the Batman isn't real, what are you on about? Yeah, so then these goons, as they're leaving with the chemicals, they see Basil stood there, and they're like, who are you? And he's like, I don't want any problems. So these goons are like, get him, legging it after him. Basil's absolutely shitting himself. He's like, no, running away. In comes the Batman, lands in between them. He's like, what he's doing with that. And they're like, oh shit, it's the Batman. They try to run. Batman just clobbers them all, knocks them all out. And he goes to one, who are you working for? And he goes, I can't tell you. And he goes, you best tell me now. And he's going, alright, look, the Penguin asked us to get them. We don't know what for. And Batman goes, okay, that's good enough. So he's like, grabbed them, tied them all up. And he's like, alright, let's go see if that guy's alright. So he's looking around for him. And all of a sudden he just starts screaming. And he's like, what the fuck's going on? So meanwhile, while Batman was getting the answers, Basil has walked into this room, found all these chemicals, kind of panicked because he was just so overwhelmed. Just threw all the chemicals on him, trying to, use it quick before the Batman could catch him. And what he's done is completely burnt into his skin, all over him, not realised what he's done, and he just completely turned himself into clay. So Batman's like, bursts into the room and he's like, what the fuck have you done? And he turned around, he's just this hideous clay monster, and he's like, I don't know what I've done. He's like, I'm hideous, I'm a monster. And Batman's like, you're not a monster, look, we can fix this. And he's like, you can see just Basil's getting angry. He's like, what have I done? And Batman tries to get closer to say, look, we'll fix this. And Basil just swings his arm to say, get away. Sends the Batman through the fucking walls. And you see Basil's like, oh shit, what have I done? He's like, I didn't mean to do that, I'm sorry. And he's like, oh, I need to run because Batman's going to batter me now. So he's running, just bursts out the wall, goes through Gotham. He's like knocking into cars, buildings, just civilians. He's literally destroying Gotham by accident. And everyone's like, oh shit, like there's a monster. Everyone's running, screaming. He's like, no, I'm not a monster. And it's just getting worse for him. He is so scared, he doesn't know what to do. So he just literally turns into clay and goes into a sewer. So I think from there we'll see Batman stand up from all the rubble, and he'll be like, oh, like, I've never been hit that hard in my life. He was like, I need to find him, I need to fix this. So he goes into the room, gets a sample of each chemical, takes it back to the Batcave, and you can see him like really concussed. He's literally not doing good at all. And we'll see him looking into all these chemicals, barely sleeping. You'll just see a completely drained Batman. A Batman that literally, he'd get battered by goons if he tried to fight. And we'll see Alfred come up to him and be like, Bruce, you need to stop. He'll say, you need an extra pair of hands. You can't handle all this by yourself. You can't try save this Clayface. You can't try find out what the Penguin's doing. You can't handle the rest of Gotham on your own. And Bruce will say, look, I don't need any help, Alfred. I've got it all under control. So Alfred's like, you don't. You need help. Bruce will not accept it. He says, look, I'm fine. So Alfred's got no choice but to go, okay, just ask for help if you need help. So then we'll see a scene where Bruce kind of realises, okay, I'm gonna just go confront the Penguin about these chemicals, and then I'll start looking for this, possible serum that can save Clayface. We'll also see a really cool shot of like the news where it says Clayface, the monster of Gotham, or something like that, just like completely describing him as a monster. We want Gotham to think he's a monster. So what Batman will do is he'll track down Penguin, break into the Iceberg Lounge, go, what do you want these chemicals for? And Penguin will be like, I don't know what you're talking about. He's completely unaware, and he's like, tell me now. And Penguin, he finally gives in. He goes, look, this is for the greater good, Batman. This is beyond you. This is actually good. He's like, I'm trying to do good in the world. And Batman doesn't believe him. He's like, you need to tell me now. So Penguin goes, alright, I don't know his name. He's just a scientist. He works at Gotham City Labs. That's all I know. So Batman's like, alright. Throws him to the floor, storms out of the Iceberg Lounge. He gets back to the Batcave, and he's like, saying to Alfred, I found out who wants these chemicals? He's like, I'm gonna confront him. And Alfred goes, Batman, you're getting too obsessed with crime fighting. And we'll see this, see where he's like, Batman's kind of realising he's addicted to fighting crime, but he will not accept the help. And it'll be kind of like a realisation where he's like, maybe I am addicted, but he literally cannot do anything about it because he will not admit he's addicted. And he's just brushing Alfred off like, no, please, look, I'm fine. Let me just sort this out and then I'll take a holiday. So what we'll see is Bruce, you know, completely knocked out on his back computer, like destroyed, like he's asleep. And Alfred doesn't want to wake him. He's like, look, let's let him sleep. But we'll see what's happening in Gotham is Clayface came back up to say he's not a monster, and he's like, please, can I speak to someone? I just want to let you know I'm not a monster. But a SWAT teams came and they're shooting at him and everything, like, you need to get away, like, what are you? And he's just like, I'm not a monster, I'm just misunderstood. He's like, I'm Basil, do you not remember me from a few of the movies? And they're not having it. They're like, mate, here we go, shooting at him, shooting rockets, and he's like getting quite hurt, and he's like, what are you doing? Bam, just smashes them into a wall, killed these people, and he's like, oh shit, I didn't mean to do that. So then they're shooting more, and he's like, really scared. He's like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do this. And they keep shooting, and he kind of gets annoyed, and he goes, you know what? Fuck you. He just grabs a fucking car and lashes it. He's like, I'm fucking had enough of yous. Goes back in the sewers, and we start seeing this Clayface just completely change. He's completely turned into the actual monster they portrayed him as. We'll see him start learning how good his skills actually are, how powerful he is. I think it'd be a really cool scene to just have him in the sewers. Maybe even like a little cameo of where he encounters like Killer Croc as a child, and he's like, who are you? And Killer Croc's a kid, and he just like runs away or something like that. Be quite cool, like a little Easter egg. But yeah, while Clayface is training, Batman wakes up and he's like, why didn't you tell me, Alfred, that he was there? I could have stopped him. I could have tried to save him. And Alfred was like, Batman, I tried to wake you up. You were out cold. He's like, I actually thought you were dead at one point, how unconscious you were. So then Batman's like, he's really annoyed now, and he thinks, alright, the way I'm going to relieve the stress is I'm going to confront this scientist in Gotham City Labs. So as he's walking in, the goons are literally walking in the door with him, like to pass the chemicals to this scientist. So Batman just from a distance, kind of watching, and we'll see him like break into the window, batter the goons, and he'll go to the scientist, what are you doing with these chemicals? And the scientist called Victor Freeze. So he's like, what are you doing with these chemicals? And Victor, he's saying, Batman, look, I'm not doing anything bad. I need these chemicals desperately. It's life or death. And he's like, tell me what for. And Victor's like, alright, me wife is about to die, and there's nothing I can do to save her unless I've got these chemicals. And Batman's like, I can't let you use them. He's like, I've just seen someone use them and turn into clay. He's like, I'm not letting you use these on your wife. He's like, no, trust me, I know what I'm doing. And Batman goes, look, I'm sorry, I'll find another way, but you are not using these chemicals. So we'll see Batman take the chemicals, grab the goons, walk out, and we just see Victor absolutely lose his mind, and he just starts smashing shit. He's gone berserk. He's completely crazy. He's like, I'm gonna kill the Batman. He's like, I am not letting him get away with this. So what Mr. Freeze does, he has this like freezing pod that he puts his wife in, and what he's doing is like trying to come up with like weapons that he can use to try kill the Batman with ice. And what he does, it goes wrong, and he kind of like freezes himself. I wouldn't know how to do it, like, but maybe he just freezes himself trying to make these weapons, and he realizes that he's literally become this Iceman, this Mr. Freeze. I would say Dr. Freeze then. Is his name Dr. Freeze? Mr. Freeze? No, it's Mr. Freeze, huh? Yeah, so we see him kind of like create this new Mr. Freeze persona, and he's like, alright. And we could see this really cool scene where he goes up to the pod of Nora and goes, I'm gonna save you, but I can't save you while the Batman is still alive. And then you'll see like this really like, it'd be kind of like heartwarming where you kind of, you're rooting for you're rooting for Mr. Freeze in a way. I think it'd be really cool because you're seeing the side of Mr. Freeze who's addicted to save his wife, Clayface who's addicted to fixing him how ugly he is, and we're seeing this Batman who's addicted to trying to save the world, and we're seeing these three different types of addiction just completely confronting them, you know, just going against each other. And I think it'd be really cool in the sense of they all want to kind of, Batman wants to help all of them, but they don't realise Batman's trying to help. And it's, yeah, I think it'd be really cool. But what we'll see is Dr. Freeze, Dr. Freeze, I said it again, that's a bloody hat trick. We will see Mr. Freeze outside in Gotham just icing the place up, just like literally killing people. He does not even care. It's just really dark scene of him just freezing people. And he kind of makes this big like podium that he stands on with ice, and he just goes, bring the Batman here now. And he's like, I am not letting him get away with this. But Batman doesn't know Mr. Freeze has done this because he's in the sewers looking for Clayface. He's found clay traces leading to the sewers. He's looking for him. He's trying to say, I'm so close to making this thing that can save you. He's like, I literally just need a day or two more and I can save you. But as he's looking for Clayface, he can't find him anywhere. As Clay's leading all over the place, he's kind of confused. He's obviously with this concussion, he's not really himself. He's struggling to find Clayface. But what he doesn't know is Clayface is actually above surface. He's looking for Batman. He's blaming Batman for this. He thinks Batman's got up and said there's a clay monster, we need to stop him. So he's looking for Batman, he's ready to kill Batman. And as he gets up there, you see this scene where Dr. Freeze, Mr. Freeze is one end of the street and he's on this like ice podium thing. And then we see Clayface coming out the sewer at the other end, and it's just like a proper, you know, the Darth Vader picture when it's Darth Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi, two sides of each other. It'd be like that, but it's Clayface and Mr. Freeze, and they're like standing off, and Mr. Freeze is just shouting to him, are you working for the Batman? And Clayface is like, no. Are you working for the Batman? And I'm like, no, who are you? And he's like, I'm here to take the city. And Clayface is just like, I'm ready to take this city as my own. He's like, I used to run this city. Everyone loved me. Everyone's gonna love me again. And you can just see him like infecting the place with his clay. Mr. Freeze is like, oh, you ain't infecting me. So he's just filling the place with ice. And we just see this proper sick battle between these two, just going at each other, just fighting. I think it'd just be really sick. Just the best fights in films are villains versus villains. I think this would be just beautiful. And then we'll see the Batman come up, and he's like, alright, I'm gonna fucking take control of this. He's like, going up to Clayface, he's like, Clayface, I can save you, I'm so close to finding a cure. And he's like, he's not having it. He's just like, I don't need your help. This is who I am now. And Batman's like, look, let me save you. Mr. Freeze is getting back up from being knocked down. He's like, I'm gonna kill you, Batman. Batman's like, why are you gonna kill me? What have I done? But we'll see this scene where Clayface maybe like is too eager to kill Batman himself, that he just slaps Batman, sends him flying again. And Mr. Freeze is fuming. He's like, how dare you? He's like, I was gonna kill him and you took him away. And Clayface is like a bit confused, like what, like he's a bit like, you gonna do nothing? Like, I've just sent him flying, what are you gonna do about it? And Mr. Freeze literally just freezes him, completely destroys Clayface, turns him into ice, and then just destroys him. And then we'll kind of see Batman in the building looking on like, no, like he's like completely, don't know the words, like he's looking on like he thinks he's failed. He thinks he failed Basil because he's let Basil die. He thinks he's to blame. He's blaming himself for Clayface's death, but he couldn't save him because he tried to save him. But Mr. Freeze just, he wreaked havoc. And I think it'd be really cool seeing just to see like Clayface like about to swing like that, and he just slowly freezes, and right before Mr. Freeze's head he's just stopped and it just shatters. I think it'd just be really sick. And then Mr. Freeze doesn't know where to find Batman, so he's like, alright, I'm just gonna ice the place up. And we just start slowly seeing him walking around Gotham, just freezing the place. I think that'd be really, really cool. So I think after the fight, I think Batman should probably scurry off to the Batcave and say to Alfred, I do need help. He kind of admits to himself, he's like, I've been so addicted to trying to save the city on my own that I kind of lost the fact that I do need help. And he's like, I lost myself, I'm sorry, Alfred. And Alfred goes, good. We see like this Alfred who's like, kind of being like a father figure, being like, I told you needed help, you should have listened. And he goes, alright, go out there, beat Mr. Freeze up, and then we'll get your help. He goes, I know you're strong enough to do this, so go and do it. So what he does, Batman, is he realises that this is this Dr. Freeze. So what he does, Dr. Freeze, I'm going to say Victor Freeze again, I'm losing my mind, I'm bloody losing my mind. So we see Batman go and find Nora, and he's there, and he gets Nora, takes her to the Batcave. No, he doesn't take her to the Batcave. He takes her out to Gotham City and says to Mr. Freeze, I've got Nora, I want to help her, but I can't help her while you're doing this to Gotham City. And Mr. Freeze comes down to him and goes, you let my wife go, or I'm going to kill you. And he's like, I'm going to save her. You need to understand that. And Mr. Freeze isn't having it. He's like, no, I could have saved her and you stopped me. He's like, I'm not going to let you stop me again. So we see this epic battle now where like Mr. Freeze is trying to kill him. And he's like going around the place with his gun. And we see Batman just slowly kind of getting back into his rhythm. And he's this Batman who he's starting to feel himself again, and he gets close to him, starts clobbering him everywhere, and he's actually getting an advantage on Mr. Freeze. And then we kind of like have this epic battle. I don't know what will go down, but Batman will win. He'll lock Mr. Freeze up, and he will actually look for a cure for Nora while Mr. Freeze is locked up. But at the end of the film, I think this would be probably the best way to wrap it up, would be Batman kind of going to the circus with Alfred as like a little, I'm going to start being Bruce Wayne again. I'm going to start, doing more with myself. And we'll see him go to the circus to watch the Flying Graysons. And we'll see Dick Grayson, and I'm not going to lie, I can't remember his parents' name, but we'll see them doing a Flying Graysons act. And then we'll see the tragedy of the rope snap, and Dick Grayson's parents fall to the death. And we just see Bruce looking on. Everyone's screaming, running like, oh no, what's happened? And we just see Bruce stood there like looking, kind of like looking as if to say like, shit, this is me. He's like kind of looking on to think, I can help this kid. And he kind of waits on, and the police come in. And what Bruce does is he goes up to him at the end and he goes, let me help you. He'll tell him, I'm Bruce Wayne, my parents died when I was young, and he just goes, I'll adopt you and I'll take you to Wayne Manor. I'll bring you up the way I was brought up, and I'll give you the life you deserve. And he kind of like saves him. And then we'll see for the next film, we'll have this young Robin training up. And I just think that would be the perfect way to end it, is Batman couldn't accept the help throughout the film, and by the end of it he's actually not even accepted help. He's went out and looked for himself. He saw this kid who needed help, and he's went up and said, I can help you and you can help me. And I think it'd just be perfect. It'd be like a wholesome ending, but like a really dark ending as well. So a bit of both. But yeah, let me know what you think. Whatever. What you think it should be. Or am I just chatting shit? Is mine shit? Let me know. But yeah, if you like this and want to see more, let me know. And I'll start doing it for different films like Spider-Man's and shit. Yeah, but that'll do for now. I'll see y'all in a bizzle. Peace out. That was so zesty, I'm sorry. Peace out. In a bizzle.